Sabrina Carpenter just dropped her latest bop, Manchild, and while the internet was still brushing off its sparkly pop confetti from her chart-topping celebration, the pitchforks started flying. That's right, no pop girl era is complete without a little backlash. Or in Sabrina's case, a double serving, between a provocative album cover and a lyrical choice that's ruffled feathers across Twitter, TikTok, and every keyboard warrior's domain. Carpenter's new release is less of a quiet rollout and more of a full-blown internet rodeo. So buckle in. Let's break it down. Is this another case of cancel culture doing the most? Or are people right to raise their eyebrows? The song that set the internet ablaze, Sabrina's single Manchild, released on June 5, did what most pop stars dream of. It shot straight to #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Fans were calling it her main pop girl reawakening, praising the slick production, sass-laden lyrics, and confidence that practically oozed out of the speakers. But what goes up must come down, especially when it's accompanied by questionable artistic choices and even more questionable word choices. Man's best friend, or worst album cover ever? Before the Manchild hype could even cool off, controversy #1 hit like a rogue glitter bomb. Carpenter unveiled the artwork for her upcoming album Man's Best Friend, dropping August 29. And let's just say, it raised more than just eyebrows. The cover features Sabrina on all fours in a dog-like pose, while a faceless man yanks her ponytail from above. Subtle? Nope. Metaphorical? Perhaps. Controversial? Absolutely. Twitter went into full academic thesis mode. One viral tweet, with nearly 50,000 likes, called the imagery glorified degradation and slammed it for romanticizing abuse. Many critics pointed out that women across the world already endure real-life abuse, and portraying it as something glamorous or playful, even artistically, felt tone-deaf, especially coming from a pop star with a huge, young fan base. Others made the connection to internalized misogyny and, notably, racism. One commentator highlighted that Sabrina's white, blonde, blue-eyed image gives her the kind of societal permission that other artists, particularly Black women and women of color, rarely receive. If this had been Lizzo or Megan Thee Stallion doing the same pose, everyone would be screaming in the comments about how this isn't empowering and how they're being a bad influence, one creator noted. But since Sabrina fits the mold of Marilyn Monroe, not Eartha Kitt, it flies under the radar. That's racism mixed with internalized misogyny. Harsh words? Maybe, but it sparked a broader conversation about who gets to push boundaries and who gets punished for it. The lyric heard round the internet. If the album cover was not enough, Sabrina's own lyrics came back to bite her, or at least tap her on the shoulder with a very angry tweet. In the first verse of Manchild, she sings, "It's all just so familiar, baby. What do you call it? Stupid? Or is it slow? Maybe it's useless, but there's a cuter word for it. I know, cue chorus. Manchild." Now, to the average listener, it might just sound like your typical sarcastic pop diss, the musical equivalent of calling your ex literally the worst in a cute outfit. But to others, it was like nails on a chalkboard. The use of the word slow struck a nerve with disability advocates and neurodivergent individuals who saw the lyric as ableist, with some even calling it a sanitized version of the R word, which, spoiler alert, is very much a slur. Why the word slow got so much heat? One disability rights activist, also a scholar, explained it this way. When you use the word slow as an insult, you are implying someone's brain is not functioning at a normal speed. That kind of language has been weaponized for decades against people with intellectual or developmental disabilities. Others echoed this sentiment, adding that putting slow, stupid, and useless in a neat little row essentially reinforced the damaging stereotype that being mentally different equates to being worthless. Even if Sabrina didn't mean it that way, and let's be real, she probably didn't. Intent doesn't always erase impact. A TikTok creator who called her out publicly even got interviewed by Newsweek, saying, "When celebrities with large platforms use this kind of language, even casually or jokingly, it reinforces harmful ideas. Language matters. Words shape how we see others, and disabled communities are already struggling for visibility and respect. Woo, that's a lot of weight for one four-letter word. But not everyone agrees, obviously. Of course, this being the internet, not everyone is on the same page. A solid chunk of users rolled their eyes at what they called cancel culture on steroids, claiming that if we start banning every word that has a problematic past, we might as well stop speaking altogether. People mad at Sabrina for using slow knee to slow down themselves. One user tweeted, in what was both a pun and an opinion, "The actual R word is making a comeback and you all are crying over this." Some pointed out that the term slow is still a common insult in many countries, especially in places like Ireland and the UK, and that maybe it's not about ableism at all, but regional speech patterns. Sabrina's love interest in the video is Irish, one user noted. Could be a cheeky nod. Calm down, Twitter. Even fans who support the disability community said they felt the reaction was a little too intense for the context. One creator said, "Look, language evolves. These words stupid, slow, useless were definitely rooted in ableism, no doubt. But today, most people are not using stupid to insult disabled people. They are calling their ex-boyfriend stupid because he thought he could cheat without getting caught." And honestly, fair point. So, what's the right take here? Is slow a slur? Technically, no. But that doesn't mean it's harmless in every context. The problem, as always, is in the nuance, something the internet famously struggles with. Words carry history, and when used by public figures, they carry weight. Even if a word is no longer used as a direct insult against a marginalized group, its history does not just disappear. That said, it's also true that language constantly shifts. The goal is not to erase words from existence, it's to use them thoughtfully, with an understanding of their power. And while Sabrina Carpenter probably didn't sit down at her songwriting session and say, "How can I alienate the neurodivergent community today?" that doesn't mean people are wrong to bring it up. What this really boils down to is a growing cultural conversation about accountability. If you have a massive platform, you can't just toss words around without expecting people to analyze them. Whether you're a pop star or a podcaster, your words are going to hit someone differently. Where does Sabrina go from here? At the time of writing, Sabrina Carpenter hasn't made any public statement about the backlash. No heartfelt notes app apology, no cryptic subtweets, and not even a sassy Instagram story with a wink emoji. She's been silent, letting the music do the talking, for now. But with her highly anticipated album, Man's Best Friend, slated for release in August, the pressure is quietly mounting. Will she continue to let the drama simmer in the background, or will she step up and address the controversy head-on? That decision could shape not just the public's perception of her, but also the narrative around her new era. She's clearly thriving in the spotlight. Manchild shot straight to the top of the charts, and fans are eating up her confident, no-nonsense pop persona. This is her moment. Her main pop girl era is sparkling with glam, sass, and a sprinkle of chaos, exactly how pop eras should be. But even glitter has its shadows. Whether this controversy fizzles out with the next viral hit or evolves into a more serious conversation will depend on how much space Sabrina gives it, and whether fans, critics, and the public continue to demand accountability. She's walking a fine line between edgy and insensitive, bold and tone-deaf. The real question is, can she turn this moment into meaningful growth, or will she double down on the chaos for the aesthetic? And that's a wrap on the Manchild mayhem. What a roller coaster, right? If you've got thoughts, hot takes, or just want to argue in the comments, respectfully, of course, drop them below. Don't forget to smash that like button like it owes you money. Subscribe for more pop culture chaos, music drama, and internet meltdowns.